Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Cole Phillips, author of The Adventure of the Twisted Truths and host of the Book and Dagger. And today we're going to be discussing Tolkien today. And we're going to be talking about the five coolest swords in all Tolkien universe. Now, there are many cool swords in Tolkien's universe, lots of them. So I've condensed it down to five, but this matter is up for debate, obviously, because I myself am torn between some. But so if you guys let me know in the comments what you think the coolest Tolkien swords are, and I will tell you my five favorite and why they're my five favorite. So we're gonna start off with number five on the list. We have this sword is not named, but it's Merry's sword, the one that he stabs the Witch King of Agmar with on the fields of Pelennor. And it's interesting because now the Witch King of Agmar. This is spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for anybody who has not seen Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings. Please go watch them or read the books and watch the movies. They're amazing. You will not regret it. Lord of the Rings is one of the, it's probably in my personal opinion, the best fantasy world out there. I'm a massive J.R.R. Tolkien nerd, as you might know already, and so I would love it if these videos help you go and read the books and watch the movies. So, um, but at number five is Merry's sword, the one that he stabs the Witch King of Agmar with. Now, this sword is pretty unique because in the first Lord of the Rings book, the hobbits don't have swords because hobbits are peaceful creatures and they don't like fighting, and they get trapped in a. This was actually not in the movies, by the way. So for you movie goers who have not read the books, this is a nice little tidbit of information for you. So the hobbits on their way to Bree get trapped in this old tomb where the Barrow Rights live, and the Barrow Rights are these evil spirits in a nutshell. And they're saved by this guy named Tom Bombadillo who comes in singing and dancing, and he drives out the Barrow Right and splits open the tomb and does all this crazy stuff. And he gives at the end of it, he pulls all the treasures out of the tomb and he gives the hobbits swords from the tomb, which these swords were forged by the men of Numenor long time ago. And he says that these swords will aid them on their journey. He gives each of them a Barrow Right sword. And so the crazy thing is, Merry and Pippin actually keep their swords. And then finally, in the third book, in the battle where the Witch King of Angmar is on the fields of the Pelennor, and Eowyn and Merry face him and fight him and kill him, is Merry. So the Witch King and Eowyn face off, and the Witch King shatters Eowyn's shield and makes her drop to her knees. And then Merry sneaks up behind the Witch King and stabs him in the leg with his blade. And this, and a lot of people are probably gonna be like, well, the Witch King's it's been prophesied the Witch King won't fall by the hand of man and all this. And a lot of people up to this point in time have thought the Witch King is basically an unkillable character. But Merry's blade actually causes him pain and delivers an opening for Eowyn to rise up and drive her sword straight into the Witch King's face, which eventually does kill him and fulfill the prophecy that he won't fall by the hand of a man, he'll fall by the hand of a woman and the hand of a hobbit. And a hobbit wielding one of the few blades in Middle Earth that can actually cause the Witch King pain. So that was a really cool and awesome payoff. We got to see a little glimpse of it in the first book, and it paid off in the third book. All right. And then coming in at number four, we have another really cool sword, which is Gandalf's sword, Glamdring. Now, Glamdring, also called the Foe Hammer, was forged by the ancient elves in the hidden elven city of Gondolin. And if you know anything about Lord of the Rings, you know that elven blades are very, very powerful and awesome and cool and deadly to those who are evil. So much so that Gandalf's blade was able to kill a Balrog. And Balrogs are basically, if you don't know anything about Middle Earth, Balrogs are basically fire demons that are 15 feet tall and super hard to pierce. And basically, anybody in Middle Earth who's ever fought a Balrog one-on-one dies fighting that Balrog. Spoiler right there for you guys. There are two instances in all of Middle Earth where a great hero, has gone one-on-one with a Balrog. Both times they slew the Balrog, and both times they died. But the fact that Gandalf uses Glamdring to pierce a Balrog and eventually kill it is a testament to how great the elven swords are and how tough that it was able to pierce a Balrog's skin. So next, coming in at number 3, we have Okrist, which is the Goblin Cleaver. That is another sword forged by the elves of Gondolin. And this sword, there's not really a lot talked about in the Lord of the Rings. It's used in The Hobbit by Thorin Oakenshield. He carries it on his quest and he uses it to kill goblins. And there's this one really awesome scene where Thorin and his company are journeying through the mountains, and Thorin has Okrist with him. And goblins come upon them, they're sleeping, and capture them, drag them before the great goblin. And the goblins are like, "We found this on him." And they bring out the sword and show it to the great goblin. And all the goblins in the cave will all jump back and they're like, "Oh no!" They're like, "It's the Goblin Cleaver." They all go crazy and they're just afraid of it because it's killed so many goblins. So we don't really see it a lot in action, but from that reaction, we can tell that it has a history of killing a lot of goblins. And that's why the sword is called the Goblin Cleaver. Like, its literal name is that it kills goblins. So that's why it's number 3 on my list. I know it doesn't do as many cool things as a lot of other swords. Just the fact that it killed so many goblins that just scares the heck out of them when they see it is awesome to me. All right, coming in at number 2 on the list is going to be Sting. Now, I think everybody loves Sting. I think it's safe to assume that everybody loves Sting because in The Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins picks it up, and it's another one of those elvish daggers that was forged in Gondolin. And it's a dagger, but it works as a short sword for Bilbo because he's a hobbit. And he uses it. It gets its name when he's killing giant spiders with it in Mirkwood. And he stabbed a spider, and the spider's like, "Oh, that stings!" And Bilbo's like, "I shall call you Sting," which is an awesome moment in the books. Now, actually, I think I might have got that wrong. I think in The Hobbit, in the movies, the spider goes like, "Ah, it stings." In the books, the spider just kind of gets hit, flops over, dies, and then Bilbo looks at the sword and goes, "I shall call you Sting." But that scene from the movie just popped in my head. And so basically he looks at it and calls it Sting because he was stinging spiders with it. And Sting is also really awesome because in The Lord of the Rings, Sam uses it when Shelob has captured Frodo. Sam picks up Sting and uses it as he fights just this massive monstrous spider. The crazy thing is, Sam stabs Shelob in the stomach with Sting. And what's wild is that he has, at that moment, the one blade in Middle Earth that could pierce. In the books, they say that had any other weapon been used, no matter the hand who wielded it, not even the mightiest men, had any other weapon been used, it wouldn't have pierced Shelob's skin. So at that moment, when Sam was facing Shelob, he held Sting in his hand, which was an ancient weapon forged in Gondolin, and it alone was the only thing that pierced Shelob's hide, which is just absolutely crazy. And then, finally, number 1 on our list, we have, this is my favorite sword in the entirety of Lord of the Rings, Andúril, Flame of the West, Aragorn's sword. Aragorn is my favorite character in all Lord of the Rings. I love him so much. And I just love how Andúril used to be a sword called Narsil, and it was used by Aragorn's ancestors to cut the One Ring from Sauron's hand, the hand of Sauron himself. And just the fact that it was broken and then kept for thousands of years without rusting or growing dull, and then the elves just reforged it, and Aragorn took it and renamed it Andúril is awesome to me. And the fact that he just took this sword, went and just it's just awesome. He uses a sword that was thousands of years old, broken, built again, and since it was reforged with elven magic, it was originally made by the men of Numenor, so it was already strong. And then the elves came along; they put their magic into it when they reforged it, and that just made it even crazy stronger. It is true. Andúril is truly a sword benefiting a king, and just the name, the Flame of the West, I just love it so much. But yeah, those are my 5 top favorite swords from Lord of the Rings. So go ahead and comment down below if you. I did miss swords. If you've read the Silmarillion, you know I missed swords. So go ahead and comment if you like some of those swords I didn't mention, and go ahead and tell me what you think the order of swords should have been.